Blessings, everyone. Let me see if I shut this echo off. There's probably a lot of noise in this broadcast tonight because we do have the air conditioning on, and it's about 3 feet away from me. Got no choice, man. No choice whatsoever. We got anyways, it's 6:01 p.m. here on the East Coast, and it's Friday, and we're cooking, we're roasting, we're baking, not flaking. Yeah, in any case, it's 90 degrees at 6:01 p.m. with a feel-like temperature of 100 degrees. Yep, and it was 91 at 4 o'clock when I checked it, refreshed, it dropped 1 degree. And, this is funny. They got an outlook, obviously, for tomorrow. 97 degrees tomorrow with a feel-like temperature of 107. And at the bottom it says, mostly sunny and summer-like. Yeah. Yeah, well, I would hope that it's summer, if it's going to be 107 degrees. Yes, I would hope so. Yeah, and Sunday is supposed to be worse. Yeah, we got Sunday 99 degrees. They don't give us a feel like, but there's probably going to be 110. And they got a chart over here from AccuWeather, different shades of red, orange, lighter orange. We're in the top red, which is 105 to 110 feel like. And it's at that level, it's just dangerous. Yeah, it's just dangerous for a lot of people. I know all you people in the Midwest, Southern Midwest, have gone through this already, maybe still going through it. I think the whole darn country is kind of burning up. Not just us, because we're going to start with this right here. Yeah, let's start with this right here. We just witnessed the hottest June ever recorded in Europe. And, thankfully I won't have to do too much editing. Not really. Because like 13 of these stories came from the same place. So we're going to talk about this in a minute, about how this June ever recorded. And just in case you didn't know, folks, even here in southern New England, we don't normally get 100-degree days. We have. It's just not normal. We can get in the mid-90s. Get close to 90, close to 100. But it's rare for us to reach over 100 in temperature anyway. With the feel like we've probably done it more often, but in any case, Europe is frying too, man. So we're going to talk about, we've got other things later on down the broadcast. One of them is of interest, this Epstein junk that's going on, okay? There's going to apparently be a 2,000-page document dump within the next day or so. And we'll get to that article. There's a lot of people, very important people, who are very, very nervous. If it wasn't for those documents already being in someone's hands, I would think somebody's life might be at stake. I mean, heck, we've had other people disappear, other people supposedly committing suicide. And we're also going to talk later on down the line. I guess he's a senator, Senator Ted Cruz. What he suggested, and it should have been suggested a long time ago, we have domestic terrorists in this country, and it's about time that we recognize it. I don't know why we're not, because that's exactly who they are. So we'll continue with this. We got a lot of news, so you're probably better off just hopefully this will make it to YouTube and be working. Let me go check my feed. I do have it up here and ready. We'll see if it's working anyway. And so, yes. Okay. We're on the streak now, right? So that's working over there on YouTube. If anybody wants to go there and watch the news as it goes by. Or, of course, you can listen to it later in bits and pieces. I know sometimes an hour is just, too long for somebody. You break it up into pieces, you can understand it and hear it better, So Europe's record-breaking heat wave last week, turns out, was the empathic conclusion to the hottest June ever recorded. The Copper Census Climate Change Service, a satellite agency that keeps tabs on Europe's weather for the European Union, reported that the global average temperature for June was the hottest on record for the month. Please tell me the degrees. Average temperatures for most France, Germany, northern Spain during the heat wave were up to 18 degrees Fahrenheit above normal. We're always breaking records. We live in the times where these records, yes, they are going to be broken. I hope everyone's doing okay. I want to say hello to my sister Laura, sister in Christ. Sound is low. Well, it's probably what's not long enough. Anyways, sound is low. I will try and turn that up, but I'm like I said to everyone else, I am next to a air conditioner. And if I turn that off, believe me, by the end of the newscast, I will be, if I can make it, pretty much be suffocating myself. We got to look for another air conditioner. It's not going to cover the whole house. And thank God for that technology. Got to remind myself to go and, I have to remind myself to do these things because when I start doing things, I can easily be distracted or undistracted. You know what I mean? Gotta go check on my neighbor. I know she has air conditioning because I've seen it. I know it works, but I'll go check on her anyway. She's had some visitors this past week, so I've been keeping my distance. I know I gotta go mow her lawn probably this weekend. That's got to get done in this temperature. So I don't know if that's better for you, Laura. Does the sound better? I'm going to try to do something. I got my camera. I got it taped up. Right now it's on, and I really don't want it on. Maybe I'm covering up the microphone while I'm doing it. So I don't know if that's any better. I don't know if it did anything. All right, I got a response. Let's go look at the response. Yeah, a little. Okay, so I apologize for that. I'm trying to get a little closer to. I did turn it up. It can go up a little bit more, but I'm going to try to get closer and talk to it that way. I know now I'm whispering, but all right, let's move on. Let's see. These are all from End Time Headlines, and they get all their news from the people who actually put them out first. So they do just like I do. We go searching for the news, and then we just relay. Tag, you're it. So that's about what we do. And I like it when nights go like this, where I don't have to, because I have to edit. I have to put all these links into into this box, so y'all can go look at it for yourself. sometimes it's a pain in the butt, especially when the links are all over the place. And there's many of them. So we'll talk about this. Rivers at the highest level since records began. Hottest ever, highest level since records began. You see the process here, the way it's going. Every year, every month, it gets worse and worse. The birth pains that Jesus told us about. Seems like every year they're breaking records every year in almost everything. Earthquakes, tornadoes, everything weather-wise. And not just weather-wise, we have stories, yes, again, about crazy people going crazier. It just gets worse and worse. And Sodom and Gomorrah is just growing. It's it's been let out of its closet, so to speak. So it's been exposed, and now it's everywhere. It's in just about every commercial that we have out there. It's in all the new programs that are coming out on TV, which I don't watch. I watch some TV, but when I do go check out a new series, and I will for the first time, and you can tell right away, it's just garbage. They got programs out there now where, same-sex fathers or mothers. So you got two fathers bringing up a child. That's just wrong. That's just totally wrong. The child has to have two parents. This is what this marriage thing was all about. It's about each parent, mother, father, male, female, kind of helping each other out. It was a special union. And it's called marriage. And you just go look at the stats, man. By the stats, it's like 50% last time I checked it. It's probably a lot worse now. 50% of people who get married these days get a divorce. And I'm pretty sure that it's higher now. There's just, I don't know, we could talk about that sometime too. And it should be. I talked about it with my family a couple nights ago on Facebook. What constitutes a marriage and what needs to be told to your spouse or your future husband before you get married. All these things should be discussed before you get married. Who you are, where you come from. What do you do? Are you Christian or are you not? Are you, Buddhist? What? Have you, whatever. You discuss those things that are very personal to each other before you get married. And I believe that a lot do not now. And when they find out, there goes that marriage. Education. We'll talk about that. It needs to be talked about. But I also learned a lesson too about certain things, and we'll talk about that too. So these rivers burst the banks, millions forced from their homes in Bangladesh and India. They do have a monsoon season. I don't know if they're still in it or not, but they're definitely getting, floods, record levels of water, like everyone else. All right, we'll go on and go to this one. Christians forced to reconvert and bow down to goddess idols. Say that ain't so, but unfortunately it is. All kinds of things are happening in the Middle East. Besides, and there is good news, even in Iran, there's good news that more and more converts are coming over to Christianity. So this one, originally from the Opinion, Charisma, Christians who worship privately in their homes in a village in eastern India were dragged to local leaders last month and forced to bow down to goddess idol. So according to the Morning Star News, I guess this has been passed around a little bit, The mob action on June 14th, Flag Day, followed an announcement 2 days earlier by the heads of the Mahutoli village, Gamula district in Jharkhand state, that 12 Christian families would be banished if they did not return to the tribal Sarna religion, they said. I want to know if they converted. I mean, obviously they converted. I guess you will find out whether you believe in Jesus or not. So the threats have always been there in this area, in Gamala district, but it had never escalated to this point that Sarna extremists vowed to take lives. Yeah, you remember, right? I mean, Christian children, okay, in Iraq, I guess. That's when ISIS first moved in there. You know, were having their heads chopped off, not wanting to go back to Muslim. They denounced the Muslim faith. They stayed with Jesus. Children will be very dedicated and loyal as long as you tell them the truth. Once they find out you've lied to them, nothing you say will matter anymore. That's pretty true. So obviously, we're going to keep reporting that these attacks on Christianity, and expect a heck of a lot more to happen here in this country. And this is growing as well, too. New York introduces a radical trans guidance for schools. You know that they're putting these programs into their curriculum. You know that they're having these after school or before school or some library meetings where the transgenders are teaching these children acceptance and who knows what. And those parents are going to pay for that. So New York City is set to introduce a radical new transgender guidance for public schools. Can't do that for public schools. I mean, they try. Where are the parents? Come on, keep up. Stand up to these things. You just got to stand up to them. I know, prophecy will be fulfilled. Signs of the times that are here will bring in, the coming of Jesus Christ. And even though we don't want these things to happen whatsoever, and that we have righteous anger for them and want to stand up and fight them, and so why not? But just know, the more and more these things come out, the more and more people will change, and their thoughts and minds, like in the days of Noah, will be evil all the time. And that's what it's coming to. That's kind of what we're waiting for here. And the giants, but I think that's coming or already here. Yeah, so state-funded schools, okay, in the school year 2019 to 20, students at state-funded schools can change their name and sex on school records without legal documentation. Yeah, just one day, you go in there, okay, feel like a girl today, so I'm going to be a girl. I'm going to be able to go to the girls' locker room, even though I'm a guy. You know how, just, what do you call that? And the words just won't come to me. It is just vile. It's sick. It's unnatural. So just know that these things are going to increase. Not that the news of it will increase, because I really get sick of finding them, but we have to keep focused too. And this also from End Time Headlines. I now cast out all spirits of darkness. The Congressional Chaplain launches spiritual warfare in the U.S. House. Well, I'm sorry, I don't think it's working. You would think that I think they need to get a pastor or something like that in there. not a chaplain. I'm sorry, but does anybody in the Catholic religion understand what's going on with your religion? Pick up a Bible, okay? Find out, what things are true and what things are not. If this faith is fault, if this, I don't know what you call it, this name for this religion, the Catholic religion, Christendom, Catholicism, it's not of God. I'm sorry, but it's not. That's where I began actually. My mom, bless her heart, when she was around, she made us kids when we were younger go to church. We didn't know about whether the Catholic religion was the right one or not. We were told we had to go. We even went to catechism and all this other stuff, Bible school and Sundays, until she said we had a choice, and then none of us went. But she planted the seed. She didn't know herself, okay? She was not given that truth, but I believe that she planted a seed anyway. And with that, I think that, God will have mercy on her soul, but she can only do what she knows is true. Anyways, so yeah. Between voting to condemn President Trump's tweets of racism and voting against impeaching him, it's been a decisive and busy week in the U.S. House of Representatives. But there's unusually one moment of unity at Capitol Hill each day. As is the custom since 1789, every session is opened by the House chaplain. Okay, I'll stop there. All I can say is that it's not working. It's not. I guess there's some politics out there that I might want to mention. I guess I don't have the articles, I don't think, at least in front of me, but do know that, what's her name, Harris, what's her first name, Pamela Harris, the other one, Democrat who's running for presidency. I mean, she is such a contradiction if any of these stories are true. Her and Omar, married 3 times, one time maybe to her brother. I mean, it's just fraught with lies and deception and fraud. And if they don't do anything about that, we're already gone. I mean, we're already in the decline. We're going to be taken down and from within. It's just going to happen. Unless by a miracle, and there's always room for a miracle, that God has brought back into America. Can we be blessed? Yes. I'm not a pessimist, okay? I tell everyone that I'm a realist, okay? I'm not a pessimist. I'm not an optimist. I'm a realist. I seek what is truth. I try to prove it. Sometimes. Anyways, it's not working. In California, I don't know what they're trying to do. I know they were talking about seceding from the Union, from America, them in Texas, and the silly, ridiculous laws that they keep making. I don't know. I think that maybe that's where one of the devil's principalities live. I think everything starts there and they see what happens, and Connecticut is usually right behind them, following suit with laws and other junk that the people who are making them would not follow themselves. They think that they're inferior to us and that they're making the laws. They're not making them for them. They're making them for the people below them, who they think are below them. Ay, ay, ay. California, this is about something else. So I guess just wanted to make that statement. because there's some crazy things that'll be coming up here, some crazy laws that they've made. But anyway, this Californian story is not about that. It's just another story about this flesh-eating bacteria popping up in California from some woman that lives there, and it's ravaging her foot, exposing her bones. Of course, you won't see that in the picture. But she has not been able to track it down to where she might have picked this up. And it would be nice to know, because, you could probably find some ground zero or something, It just seems to point to Florida, but it could be any coastline, I guess, right? The things that are morphing and changing in the oceans is just unprecedented. Fish, other animal, aquatic life in the Pacific is just changing. If there is any there at all. I mean, that's why the sharks are coming to the East Coast and attacking people, because they go after seals and they follow the seals. And they don't attack people in the water. And there's been a lot more than any other time, attacks on people in the water. But that could be just part of that prophecy where, the Lord said that these beasts of the field will turn on us all. Hearing about bird attacks. You heard my story about a fly trying to attack me? Yeah. So, hey, Tony Baloney, how you doing, sir? God bless. Yeah, the ocean is definitely dying, the Pacific. Yeah, I mean, of course, it all started seemingly with Fukushima and so on. It started with the starfish just reducing themselves to just a plump of goo, but things are going on also over there in the Atlantic, in the Norwegian Sea. We talked about that the other day. All right. Where that nuclear submarine that the Russians left there in, 1989? Supposedly with 2 nuclear weapons still on it. That's leaking, 600 or 800,000 times the normal limit. So, yeah, I mean, I'll try and find exactly where it says that, but I'm pretty sure that it is in Revelation. Could be Ezekiel, about the oceans boiling away. They're just, Fukushima alone, many scientists say, is an extinction level event. They're just not coming out with, every once in a while you might get an update. It's a rarity. But that's where they left it, that it just points the way to the times that we're in. That's it. Yes, it most certainly could be, could be God's judgment. I know America is going to pay for removing God from everything, from their schools, from their everything. And, if you're going to pull away the blessing of God, you're going to definitely receive the punishment. And so, we just watch and learn how far along this stuff actually is. And so these things, Colorado, you remember this story from the other day, right? This is not the same story, but it is Colorado. Wasn't it in Colorado, we said a couple of days ago, where they took down the American flag and raised the Mexican flag? Then they took some other blue flag and painted it and hung that up too. Something to do with some riots and protesting, but that never should have happened. They should not have been allowed to take that down and put up the Mexican flag. I actually had to ask somebody what happened. Was Colorado taken? You know, we're all talking about this invasion of immigrants, okay, from many places. Um, have they already taken over Colorado? I know they've probably just about taken over California. They've taken over Missouri, right? Missouri? Don't they have towns up there that, anyways, the immigrants are everywhere, even the ones that have just been flown in without vetting, without knowing who they are, and just placed in America. That's going to be part of it. Yeah. So in Colorado now, they're starting to change everything like everybody else is. It's not just Colorado, I have to say. California's been doing this. The Colorado State University Inclusive Language Guide discourages use of terms America and American. Yeah, they've been changing the verbiage, the things that we can and cannot say because they're so offensive to people. Yeah, so this guide to exclusive language published by a Colorado State University task force cautions students, faculty, and staff to avoid the terms America and American, among others, some of which might not be known to the common person to be considered offensive. The Inclusive Language Guide was compiled by Colorado State Inclusive Communications Task Force with the goal of helping communicators practice inclusive language and helping everyone in our campus feel welcome. Yeah, okay. Welcome, 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 Coloradans. Yeah, they're going to be offended anyway. They're going to be. This one, I don't know if you heard this. Anybody else? I don't watch this kind of crap. The title here from It's Not a Laughing Matter. Christian contestant booted from Bachelorette over purity stance. Yeah, well, you don't hear about somebody coming out and admitting that he's Christian and he's saving himself for his wife. I mean, that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah, unless you believe in Jesus. Well, so anyways, the Bachelorette star Luke Parker has been booted off the show after revealing his deeply held Christian views towards sex before marriage. Yeah, so in a dramatic final scene with the Bachelorette contestant Hannah Brown, Parker told openly about his confusion over some of the other contestants who proclaimed their faith and yet desired to explore relationships on a sexual level. To me, that's like, what? Excuse me? There's something missing here. I don't believe that something's something that you should be doing, he said. So he's talking to the Hannah Brown and coming out with this sincerity, open heart, and anyways. So he just wanted to make himself clear and that they were on the same page. The contestant continued, if you told me you were having sex or you had sex with one or multiple of these guys, I would be wanting to go home 100% now. And Brown became angry in response, saying she was mad because Parker was not her husband and he had no right to speak to her like that. This is the problem. This is one of the problems. And it's obvious, yes, you do need to know these things if you're planning on getting married. And I plan on talking about this some other time in another atmosphere, okay? This has been the argument that I've been having with my own children about what they need to know before they get married and what they can consider none of their future husbands or wife's business, and that it should remain a secret and blah, 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 blah. But, this is how marriages get dissolved too. You have to be open and upfront with these things. Everything. Otherwise, if you don't say something about something, it's just as bad as lying. It's the same thing. You're lying. You're not revealing it because, for whatever reason, that's still kind of lying. Yeah, I agree that it's still lying. A lot of people agree with that. So here's some good news. Like I said, Muslims are getting saved and miraculously healed as they go to Christian healing rooms. Now, I don't know about the healing rooms, but if they're going and being saved, praise God. Hallelujah. Muslims in Arab countries are getting saved as they go to Christian healing rooms and are miraculously healed, says a minister, Cal Pierce. Well, that's just, good. I mean, I know that there are converts in Iran, and it. Last time I knew, it was increasing, and that is an awesome thing in a place like that to know Jesus. I mean, that's where it all began. It'd be great for them to have some kind of a revival over there, because there's just terrible things going on every day. I mean, China, big news all the time about their persecution. So, 74 countries. That's amazing. That's good to know. And of course, like always, I'll leave these links. You just go to End Time Headlines. They have all these. Most of these stories I'm talking about right now are all from there. And so, the Greek capital of Athens, gets a 5.1 earthquake, sending people running into the streets. Yep. Muslim people again. Yeah. It's great. I mean, that's where most of the persecution is over there in the Middle East. So to hear news like that come out is always a blessing. So, yeah, well, more earthquakes. We're always having earthquakes. And there are always going to be these earthquakes. And they're going to increase like they have been in, intensity and in, the amount of them. It's just, yeah, you know where to go for the earthquake stuff. Even though this particular person, I don't know, he gets attacked a lot. So he takes it personally. I don't blame him, but some of the things that he does about it and speaks on. So I would probably call it a PG site, even though it's educational as well, very educational. He does a very good job with these earthquakes and following that and explaining it. But yeah, he, like anybody else, doesn't like to be mocked and ridiculed or threatened. Yeah, I don't know who would be okay with being threatened, but I guess that's kind of, I don't know if it's the same thing of turning the other cheek. But so here's some of these. I'm going to come across these. I didn't put them in any particular order, but this one is one of these, insanity things about people in these last days and what they do and what they consider entertainment or, good. But this Instagram model, so an Instagram model sold her own bathwater for $30 a jar, and it sold out in 3 days. This is the kind of stuff where, where the morals and minds are of people. I don't know whether the Lord gave it to him or not. So this well-known Instagram model just sold her own bathwater, broadcasting it out to all of her 3.9 million Instagram followers. I have 49. And that doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I used to have 2K before they shut me off of my other channel, but I don't care. I told the Lord, if he wants me in this position, that it doesn't matter if there was just one listener. If that one listener is getting anything out of it that will help them, then I'll stay on for one listener. I don't care about these things. But this is where I'm just pointing out where their minds and where they go. I mean, people are starving. I mean, I don't understand. Yeah, I really don't understand this. People are starving. People complain about all the things, but $30 for a jar of bath water. Anyways. So, Belly Delphi. I've never heard of her. 19 years old. Posted a photo with one of the jars with the caption, "I am now selling my bathwater for all you thirsty gamer boys." Okay? There you have it. In California, right along with Colorado, I mean, I think California was first in this, though. You know, California City will remove gender terms. Get this. Gender terms, including manhole and man-made, from municipal code to prevent people from being what? From being what? Guess. Offended. Yeah, everyone's offended. Well, I can't believe how many people are offended, but they are. I mean, I don't know if you all remember this. This was quite a few months ago, and I saw the video. I don't know how I ended up there, but I saw the video. Tall man, okay, long hair, walks up to a counter, and this, older lady, at the register, asked, if he needed anything else, called him sir, which anybody would do, and he just, in a very loud and angry tone, told the lady, "I'm not a sir, I'm a man." Then he went on a rampage and just screamed and yelled, and I thought he was going to tear the place down. That's what's out of the closet. How so easily offended like that? How was she supposed to know? I mean, he's got to wear a name tag. They want us to, watch out for these words and calling someone who might think they're a woman one day and a man the next day. I mean, we can't keep up. So I guess we all should just say nothing, right? We can all go around, or maybe we can ask Elon Musk if he can, while he's trying to join together our brains and this AI, if maybe he could, give us the telepathy gene too, so that we won't have to talk and offend people. That we'll know exactly what they want us to say right away. Yeah, that's not going to happen. That'll be for another time, maybe, when we're all in heaven and don't need to talk. If we don't want to, just... Anyways. Yeah, gender inclusive restrooms become more and more common across the country now. Berkeley is taking a step further. The city is removing gender-specific words in its municipal code. It will cost the city about $600. I don't know. I guess it says $600 to make the changes. That's a fair price. Yeah, so they're going to have to switch the words like he and she to they and them. It's just crazy, man. What they're trying to do. I mean, it's just like all the other laws that California's been trying to pass off onto their constituents, they call them, I guess, Anyway, well, here's some news of rumors of war, and it may even happen. But I want you to think about this before we get into this update with Iran and the United States. Some say that a war right now would guarantee Trump a new series, a new term, because most people do not like voting in a different president when they're at war with another country. Some people may even be doing this on purpose to start a war so that Trump has to go to war. Trump doesn't want to go to war. I can tell you about that man, that he at least that's the impression I get, that he doesn't want a war. He wants to make money. He doesn't. Some people will say, well, war makes money, but yeah, if you want to sell, implements of war to the enemy and to your friends, sure. But you got to destroy what you have in order to make more, in order to sell more. Yeah, you know how that works. Just follow the money. But anyways, this crazy stuff that Iran supposedly is doing. Okay, we all know what happened in World War II with the Japanese and their sanctions that the U.S. had on them. Only had 6 months of oil left, so the Japanese were forced to attack America. Either die in 6 months or go to war with America and maybe win. That's where Iran is. That's where China is coming to with all these tariffs. And they've also sanctioned U.S. companies now, so we're going to be feeling that soon. So, Iran, I don't know. This is what's out there in the news anyway. Okay, Iran. What's it? Friday, somewhere during the week, maybe it was over the weekend. They seized a United Immigrants or Emirates oil tanker. Seized that one. I've heard no stories come out of verification of that except for the Iranians. There's been nothing in the mainstream media. And then, one second. Oh, yeah. Yeah, everything, is definitely getting worse. There's the Antichrist spirit's been out there for a long time. But yeah, we are heading in that direction. So, okay, so Iran takes this United Immigrants tanker. Then they go and take, let's see, then they took I'm trying to find the first one first. Then they took a oil tanker from the Brits. According to News Punch, Iran seizes a British tanker in the Straits of Hormuz. And before the British can actually verify that they've taken the first tanker, Iran supposedly took a second tanker, British oil tanker, in the Persian Gulf. So, if that's actually Iran, I mean, that would be so stupid. I mean, obviously something has to be done, and it has to be done quickly. I know that we're sending 500 more troops over there to Saudi Arabia, and we're kind of not on a whole bunch of good terms with Saudi Arabia right now. But you must understand, if we go to war with Iran, which is what the big war machine want, because our economy is, like it has been for a while, is just propped up. 6 tankers have been attacked in some way. Yeah, there were 2 of them in the very beginning that were attacked. Yeah, but there was 1, 2, 3 in this past week. 2, I don't know if it was the same day, but that were taken, seized. Not just attacked. I guess the Iranians want the oil so they can go sell it on the black market. I mean, that was what supposedly originally started all this was that. Who was it now? Was it the British who actually seized an Iranian tanker, which started this whole thing because they were not supposed to be doing that? I forget how it began exactly, but so we got that going on. Okay, we got Friday. We got heat waves, heat keeping people in. I don't know. You just need to keep alert, keep on your toes. This is when a lot of these things happen over a weekend. Yeah. He knows better than that. So anyway, that is basically it on the war front. But just to let you know that we have to do something if any of this is true, that Iran is doing this in their own little area. There's going to be hell to pay. Iran's going to pay for this one way or another. Trump doesn't want to do it. If there is some kind of action taken, then we also have to know that the Russians have a protection order with Iran, so they will be involved like they are or have been with most of our wars anyway. Their little proxy wars against the United States. So it doesn't look good for that. I mean, this is actually has escalated to a point where there's going to be something. It's going to be big. I don't know. As far as prophecy is concerned, I mean, Israel, remember, has to stand alone. And right now, America is on Israel's side. They're one of our best allies over there in the Middle East. Now, for some reason, we don't do anything, which is a possibility because Trump called off the last attack, right? Which was a good thing to do. But if that happens, or if another scenario happens where Israel says, well, that's it, and Israel attacks Iran, that may even be a point where the U.S. pulls away from Israel because they attacked first. And that could leave Israel alone. And that would fill prophecy. So, and then, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that we can speculate on about Trump and Antichrist, the beast, all that stuff. So, in the meantime, that was our war report. So this is it, the news punch. This is other thing that's coming out that a lot of big wigs are worried about. And if one way that they can avoid this, this eye on these 2,000 documents that are supposed to be coming out shortly from this Epstein thing, this, Love Island, all that stuff, they could actually start this war and other things. I mean, I think they've been trying to start the West Coast earthquakes, start the Cascadia or the San Andreas or both to keep us busy. They don't want us to see these papers, these documents that are coming out because most of them entail big politicians, leaders of other governments, very high-ranking people, or in any case, they don't want you to see it. How can they stop that? Well, they can shut down the internet. They can shut off power. I mean, be aware. People who are going through these heat extremes, they'll use a power outage or a brownout, like New York, okay, the other day. They can turn these things off. Just beware. And in the meantime, while we're still not doing anything down the southern border, except sending the squad down there to yell about the conditions that they are unwilling to do anything about themselves. In the meantime, we have illegal aliens released into the U.S. And there's one guy right here charged with raping a 7-year-old girl. That's what they do. They're released into the U.S. population. And there's many instances. We can count a few of them, quite a few of them, that they go and kill and murder and steal and rob. And in this case, with this 7-year-old girl. And this rape was so brutal that this girl, 7 years old, ended up in the hospital and undergoing reconstructive surgery. Man, God bless Tony. This is the stuff that shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be. And I know they don't care about us. They just want our money and want us to do what they want us to do. And the rest, I mean, basically they're saying, just what the heck. This one thing that's coming out of this all stuff it sounds pretty good. When they broke up AT&T, I think we talked about this a couple days ago. After busting Google for election meddling, Project Veritas contacts members of Congress to inform them. But will they do the right thing and hold the company liable? Well, they can break Google up. Yeah, they broke up AT&T and whoever else because they were too big. I almost, trying to picture myself being the owner of this company. And yeah, I wouldn't like it. But if I were still guaranteed the same amount of money coming in, they broke it up. And they should. Because they're just getting too big for the britches. Them, Facebook, YouTube, that's who they are. I don't know if they're Facebook, but anyways, we're going to look for that in congressional hearings and what will come of that. Whole Foods, okay, talking about Walmart and other places. Whole Foods sponsors a drag queen story hour to indoctrinate children with perversion, pedophilia, and transgenderism. They are trying, people, to make pedophilia legal. The day they do that is probably the day that the Sodom and Gomorrah would be firmly rooted again in our society. I think that they are now. Just need everyone to realize that. Terrible what they're trying to do. And here, I'll leave you the link. This is the one about Ilhan Omar. Okay, committed multiple instances of fraud, perjury, could face prison and deportation. I believe that it could happen, or could and should. I mean, we've already found whatever happened to what AOC was supposedly accused of, taking campaign funds and moving around into another account so her and her boyfriend could use it for some reason, and the fact that she wasn't really a New York resident when she applied for this job, or was voted in. I think it was just a P.O. box, like a lot of politicians have. Anyway, I'm just going to look at the last 3 articles and we'll just go over. Just want to go over this one really quickly. It's about the homeless. There's a lot of people, a lot of states that are coming up with laws to rid themselves of homeless people. Instead of finding a way to make them not homeless, I mean, Agenda 2030 wants to build little cubicles in a, modern mega city. Why don't they just start doing that? Where's the FEMA camps? Put them in the FEMA camps. But they're going to arrest them. South Carolina, I mean, they put these homeless people in jail. And they give them a choice. Either stay in jail or, no, it was something worse than that. Because that would have been pretty good, staying in jail 3 meals a day. Or get driven to the border and released. And so there was a lot of questions at one time of where all the homeless people went in South Carolina. I'm sure North Carolina had a lot to do with it too. But this is, a place in California that's now going to start doing it. Wherever they think that they're an eyesore for the rich, they can go in now and arrest them. In Florida, city hopes Baby Shark song will drive homeless people from the park. So this is how they're dealing with homelessness in Florida. Okay? They come around at night and play these cartoon children's songs. Right down here. Officials in West Palm Beach are hoping a continuous loop of children's songs played throughout the night will keep homeless people from sleeping in the city park and thus moving on. Yeah, I mean, isn't that tantamount to torture? It's okay to torture that way, right? Anyway, such a fine, wonderful place we live in, is it not? It's not. Anyways, in case you didn't believe me, here it is, the AccuWeather. Let's refresh it. And that'll be it, folks. I'm all done. Just want to wish you all a great weekend, a blessed Sabbath, and keep your family close. You never know when something, is going to happen. Things are just very bad. The weather's bad. Everything is just bad. And, you can be joyous in that news because the worse it gets, the closer we get to going to heaven. The closer it gets to when Jesus will return. It's in prophecy. That's what's supposed to happen. So be joyous and lift up your brothers and sisters. Go find these people who are lost. Pray for the Lord to put one in front of you so that you can prophesy. You can tell them of the Bible. Tell them of Jesus. Tell them the hope that they can have. With that, everyone, God bless. I will try and get out over the weekend. I'm going to be in here underneath the with the heat. I'll be in the air conditioning, so I got a lot of things to do. So I will probably put something out. God bless you all, and peace out, man.